We will start our workflow in Lightroom. We'll move to the Photoshop, and because we have to create a rim, and Photoshop is the better tool than Lightroom for creating rim and shape objects, and we'll see how. And I have a question for you. If you subscribe my channel or not, please do it right now. Don't forget to change the notification bell to all, so you will get notified as soon as I upload my new video. So it will be really helpful for you and me, because I'm going to tell you the secrets of all the editing process. So let's start. Now we are in the Lightroom. So you can see I have already loaded the image, and it's in library module. You can see I have the NAF file, raw file, and for editing work we have to work on develop module. So you can see in the develop module I have a raw image, but before doing any editing we have to just make our composition, crop it first, that it will be the final look we want in our image for the composition. And for this I'm going to crop this image. Keeping the glasses in the middle proportion, so there will be equal space around those glasses. We have our composition ready, and for before doing any touch up we will make sure that lens correction profile is applied. Even we can select the remove chromatic aberration, and if you feel you can select it, and it will just further enhance the edges. And for the adjustments we have to do very minimal adjustments, just to enhance the contrast of image. And it's up to you how you want with the image in a black and white, because we are going to convert it into black and white. Now you can see its feel is really getting improved in a black and white version. And we can work with the adjustment tools only, basic one, like exposure, contrast if required, all these adjustments. And for this workflow I already have my presets. So this is the preset I created for still life work, and most of the time when I'm working on still life photography, they help me to increase my speed for workflow. It will save my lot of time, because I don't want to do repeated work again and again. So I created a preset for that. If you see the adjustments I've done, it's mostly in the basic part. Exposure we can just take it back, we don't want to touch exposure here. Contrast I've little bit increased, it will enhance the contrast of the dark part. And highlights I've increased because I want this to be image having something pure white background. Shadows I have taken down because I want the shadows look more harder, so dark shadows really are going to help me. White I have again increased just to purpose have good pure white background in the around the glasses. Black I've again take down because I want edges to look more harder. I've also increased the clarity, it will just further enhance the contrast and texture in the image. So now we have our image ready, and for the editing part we are just going to open this image in the Photoshop. For this we have to just right click on the image in thumbnail and select edit in Photoshop. So now we are in Photoshop, and before doing any editing just create a copy of your background layer, so if you do any error you can still recover the details. So what we need to do, we can just drag this background layer on the plus sign button and it will create a copy. There is a command shortcut also, Control J. You can use that to create a copy of selected layer. And for editing on this image, we have a couple of things. We have to work with the reflections, hard reflections, and we have to work with the rim. So first of all, I'm going to work with the reflections, and for this I'm going to use a clone tool, because clone tool is something which works well with the hard edges. And if we see this image carefully, the edges looking bit hard, and clone tool is something which is going to give us a better result on this. And when we select clone tool, we have to just notice the settings here, that settings by default it's 100% for opacity and flow. We'll just keep the opacity at 100%, and flow will just keep it around 24%. Make sure your sampling is current and below, because whenever we are working with the clone tool, we have to work with the empty layer, because empty layer is something where we can easily recover the actions, or we can just undo the things which we do not want. And now we have to take a sample, and whenever you are working with the clone tool, just take a sample of around the similar colors or similar texture, so you will get good effect. Just to speed up the workflow, we can raise the flow. I'm going to make it 50% now. I'll just make the size of this brush little larger, so it will help me to work on larger area. Just make the brush size little small size. We are working some around the edges. So when you think that things went wrong, you can just simply click undo, and yeah, you will get it back. I'm just doing it a bit roughly just to speed up the workflow, but it can take times. It can take hours to complete single image. Whenever you feel that something error has happened, what you can do, you can just simply select the eraser tool, make the flow of eraser tool to somewhere around 24%, that 27%, and just erase it. So we have to keep checking that our flow is in control. For the final touch, we are just making the brush size little smaller. Completed. Now we have to work on the rims, and to create rims we have to remove the existing rims whatever showing on the glass. We have to clear it out, and for that also we are going to use the clone tool. We'll work on the same empty layer. So now we have to clear the rims, and for this we are going to use clone tool with small brush size. Okay, we have cleared this. Now we have to do the same for the glass rims. Now we have removed the rims here, so we have to just create our rim. And for this I'm going to use ellipse tool, and for this tool setting you can see I have nothing is going to be filled here, and for stroke I've selected black color. Up to you what the width you want for this. Something around 1 should be good enough. For the shape of glass, try to keep it around the same. We can always refer the image here. Okay, what we can do, we can just remove the clone layer, and you can see the background. So we have to just work on the rim. Adjust the opacity according to the glass, which looks more realistic. Now we have to just place it more precisely. We can further refine the edges. We'll go again to the empty layer and work with the clone tool. We'll make the brush size a little smaller. Now we have completed our first rim. Just to save our time, we can just create a copy of this rim for the other class. So we'll have the same quality of rim for both classes. And for this, we are just going to drag this layer to the plus sign button, and it will create a copy. And now we have to press Ctrl T to select a free transform mode, and we can move this shape now to other glass. and just match the other glass. Again we are just going to so we have completed both classes. Now again we have to do the same for the third class. Again we are going to create a copy of the rim layer. We have to press Ctrl T to transform the shape. Just name this layer as a clone. So it's just a good practice just to be aware that we are working with the clone layer where all the clone adjustments are placed. We are aware that this is the layer where we are doing cloning. Now we have our image ready. You can see, group it all together. So now we have worked with our image, and to get it complete we just need to go to file menu and select exit. So we are back to Lightroom now, and you can see edited image. That's how we have completed our editing work using Lightroom and Photoshop. We have completed our second episode today, and we have learned how we can create amazing glass photography with white background, and editing process is so easy. We just need to just be careful what the process we are following. And if you have really liked this video, please subscribe this channel too, and turn the notification bell to all notifications so you don't miss out on any uploads. Thank you so much. Bye bye.